Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Today, inshallah, we are gonna talk about halal and the haram food and drinks. Islam is the religion of all times, places, and for the whole mankind. It's a perfect system of physical values. By practicing its laws, Muslims all over the world not only attain spirituality, but the greatest of all other graces and gain the wealth of health. In religion, Islam, Allah Almighty described halal and haram, that's to which we have to follow, and forbidden for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Halal is the thing or any action which is permitted by Allah Almighty. Haram is the action or a thing which is forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this world with full of blessings in which different food and drinks also come which are very healthy and tasty for humankind. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned that which food and drink we have to eat and the form which we have to stay away. For all the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should thank Him. Allah Almighty said in Noble Quran, chapter number 2, ayah number 172. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم. In English, all believers eat of the good things we have provided for you and give thanks to Allah. So if someone asks, what's halal food and drinks? Halal food and drinks. About halal food and drink, Allah Almighty said in the Quran in these words, lawful to you is the hunting of sea animals and their use as food. Chapter number 5, ayah number 96. In another verse of the Quran, Allah says, Muslims are allowed to eat what is good. Chapter number 2, ayah number 168. That food and drink that's pure, clean, nourishing, and pleasing to the taste. In general, everything is halal and allowed except what has been specifically forbidden by Allah Almighty. So, what about haram food and drinks? Muslims are advised by their religion Islam to abstain from eating certain food and drink. This is said to be in the concern of health and cleanliness, and also in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Holy Quran, the blue mentioned food and drink are strictly prohibited. Like what? Number 1, flesh of pork. Number 2, blood. 3, alcohol. 4, dead meat, the remains of already dead animal, or the one who was not properly slaughtered through proper means prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 5, the meat of an animal that has been sacrificed to idols. Number 6, meat from which wild animal has eaten. Number 7, the meat of an animal that died from electrocution or strangulation. Last one, Islam is opposite to the use of any intoxicating. In this topic, we have to mention the very important point here, the correct way of slaughtering in Islam. How to slaughter in Islam? Because if we don't follow the correct way of slaughtering, it would be haram food. Slaughtering in Islam. In the religion of Islam, much attention is given to the slaughtering manner in which animals' lives are taken In order to provide food, Muslims are advised to slaughter their livestock by slitting the animal's throat in a swift and merciful manner, reciting, reciting Allah's name with the words, "In the name of Allah, Allah is the most great." This is an acknowledgement that life is sacred and that one must kill only with Allah's Almighty's permission, to meet one's lawful or permitted need for food. The animal should not suffer in any way. It is not to see the blade before its slaughter. The knife must be sharp and free from the blood of any previous slaughtered animal. The animal is then bled completely before consumption. Meat prepared in this manner is called zabiha, or we can say it halal meat. In short, being a Muslim, we should follow these rules about food and drink, or what's halal and haram for us. May Allah grant us the strength to live our lives according to His teachings. Amen. Now we have come to the end. But before I leave you, I would like to ask you a question as a plenary. List the three sources of halal and the other three of haram food. Thanks so much for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.